Welcome to episode 35 of the Busted Buns video game podcast. And boy, it is great to be back after 2 weeks off. Thanks everyone for your patience. I had a little quarantine situation with my daughter, my 4-year-old, and really during that time we weren't able to do the podcast because trying to do an episode with a 4-year-old is damn near impossible. But anyways,
I can only imagine.
We're talking the next-gen console launch, Red and his Xbox Series X. I guess I'm happy. Game of the Year nominees, final bosses, traveling in an open world, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and we're going to give you a Two Guys Playing Zelda update. But let's go ahead, let's get to it. I'm not happy. I'm happy to be back, but I am not happy right now with what's going on with gaming, and that is this next-gen console launch. And Red got one. Red got an Xbox Series X.
Damn
and
right
I am
I did.
very, very happy for you, Red. But to me, this is one of the worst periods ever for gaming because you just can't find a system anywhere at all. And all the bots and the scalpers are getting all of these systems. So,
Yep.
I mean, to me, it's just, I think it's ridiculous that I understand that the pandemic and everything is going on. But I think it's absolutely ridiculous that they were not allowing people to go into the stores and get these systems because you can still practice social distancing. You can still stay 6 feet, apart in a line and make it safe. And
I see that at the grocery store.
Yeah, and I feel like gamers are really good at that. I don't know how many gamers are wearing their mask, but I feel like they would be better than a different demographic. So, like I said, I mean, just terrible. Just terrible. You can't find a system. Bots, scalpers. I'm going to go on for a while, people. Red's not going to get to talk for a little while, but just...
You can run with it. I'm okay. I'll just play my new Xbox over here while you talk.
Yeah. But I just don't... I mean, there's always been a shortage at console launch. I understand.
Right.
You just can't make... You can only make so... First of all, I think it's bullshit. I think you can make as much as there was for demand, but you don't want to. Everybody's like, oh, supply, demand. I don't know. If somebody wants to buy something, why don't you provide it to them? That's called money. You're making money. You're winning the race up front, but whatever. But man, I just don't know. And the whole Target, Target doesn't have them. Best Buy doesn't have them. Amazon doesn't have them. GameStop doesn't have them. And you're sitting there, you're clicking refresh constantly. I'm not doing this every single day, but there are gamers out there who are doing this every single day because that's how much it means to them. And it's just... 2020, man, has already fucking sucked.
Right.
And then, the one, light that we had was gaming. There's more people coming to gaming. And then we had this just travesty where there's none available. The bots are getting them. And then all the scalpers, are reselling them for $1,300, which people, Red and I, like we've said before, we are in a good financial position. Not rich, but good financial position. I am not spending $1,300 on a PS5. That's principle, just no. So if you're one of those people that do that, you're actually one of the fucking problems, okay? So, I'm happy you got your system, whatever, but you're the reason this is continuing. But, I talked about Target and all the other stores. Just the fact that you have not seen them at all online. And when they are online, Wal-Mart, which is just a fucking joke, this whole Walmart thing, which Red got his from Walmart. I don't know how the hell Red got his from Walmart. That was amazing, but just all the bots are getting them. And I see tweets of people getting 5 or 6 systems in one session, and all these gamers out here, they can't get any. And it's just Walmart, how do you not have some bot protection? Oh, we have where you check the box. No, you can get past that. We have something at work that, I'm not going to get into that, but we have something that can get past that. Give me the damn pictures where I got to pick buses out or something. That's how you get past this. And how we did not think about this up front and how Walmart did not fix this after a week this is just pathetic that somebody's getting 5 or 6 systems. Nobody else can get any. And just all the bots and everything. And Red, I got some other points, but I'll let you talk out for a little bit while I take a breather.
I gotta take a breath myself after that. No, I will say, man. This release has been an absolute mess, and part of it's COVID. I get that. Sony themselves came out and said they did not want PlayStations being sold in stores because they didn't want the crowd. So I can't really fault.
But those stores are already allowing thousands of people in every single day.
For other shit. Absolutely. For groceries, for everything else you buy.
That's my
Best
problem.
Buy,
I understand
Target.
what they're saying, but then there shouldn't be anybody in the store if that's the case.
I agree. So, but for the PlayStations, I can't fault the retailers because that was Sony that literally came out and said, we're not doing this. So, and I guess the stores probably could have gone against it, but then maybe they wouldn't get as much stock next time, whatever.
Yeah. they would got stock. Target, Best Buy, they would get stock.
Yeah, they want to sell their shit.
Yeah.
And, and I get COVID probably fucked with like the supply chains and everything too. We know manufacturing was like slowed down a little bit. And especially now that we're kind of, at least here in America, I can't speak for every country, but like, we're going through another spike of it. Yep. So I get that production could have been slowed down a little bit. But I mean, we've gone through how many generations of launches now?
Yep.
Going back, I mean, and not even talking like the Nintendo back in 85. I'm talking like the PlayStation and Xbox are on their 5th generation now. And this shit seems to happen every single console launch. And I get that there is demand up front. And they can't make enough units up front for every single person that will want one. I do understand that, but it seemed like such a shit show. Yeah. And it seems so much worse this year. And part of it is people couldn't go wait in line. That was I'm with you. Like, these stores are allowing hundreds, thousands of people in them every single day anyway. What the fuck difference does this make? Like you said, you just make sure people stand apart from each other in line out front. It's not hard to do. It really isn't hard to do. But the bigger thing, even going online, I'm like, okay, I'll try to get one online. Yes, Walmart came out and said, we will release them at noon Eastern time. And then for the PlayStation, it was 9 a.m., noon, 3, and 6. Whatever the hell. Like, they had multiple windows for the PlayStation.
No, it was like 12 through 9 or whatever.
12 through 9. There you go. It was somewhere in there.
Nobody but 9 o'clock in a PM. I would have been, but no. Right? Everybody would have been. Let's not lie.
But the other retailers, GameStop, Target, Best Buy, none of them came out and said when they would actually be online. I was up at midnight. I had Target pulled up. I had Best Buy pulled up. And I wasn't pulling up Walmart because I knew what time Walmarts were going to drop. So I didn't give a shit about that. But no, I had Target pulled up, Best Buy, GameStop, Amazon. And at midnight, I start hitting refresh. I sit there and do that shit till about 1 o'clock almost, and they never went live. Yeah. And I didn't understand, like, and it cracks me up, but I'll give my girlfriend all the credit in the world, not just because she's in the other room probably listening right now. Yep. But like, she set an alarm. She was like, I'm going to get up at 3 and check. I'm going to get up at 6 and check. And sometime between midnight and 3 o'clock, they went up. So like at midnight, we were not able to get, because those other distributors didn't fucking come out and say what time they would go live. Yeah. And part of me understands that, because if you do that, you know you are going to get crushed at that time. But if you're thousands of fans sitting here, probably tens of thousands of fans, midnight rolls around, you're like, okay, let's do this. People got to work. People got to go to school the next day. Yep. We're staying up late anyway to try to get one of these fucking consoles. Say what you will about priorities, whatever. But, it's like, let us know when they're going to be available. Because from 12 to 1, I was sitting here hitting refresh on like 4 different windows on my computer and fucking nothing. And then some point in the middle of the night, they launched on these sites. And, it pissed me off. I did not have a problem with the online in general. I wish we could have gone and waited in line. I would have gone and camped out at my local Target. Yep. But, like, the online, at least fucking tell us when they're going to be available, because the people with those bots and that shit set up, they know that fucking minute they go online, they know it and they get them. The people, and if you're just doing it just to get one for yourself, whatever. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. Like you said, it's the people buying them to fucking turn around and resell them or to scalp them. Literally at noon, there were Xboxes up on Amazon for fucking $1,500, $2,000. Yep. I'm like, this is absolutely ridiculous. And there will be rich people out there who buy it, who have kind of that fuck you money. And we talk, we're well enough off to buy a system. I ain't paying $1,500 for a
it's principle, man.
Yeah, if I'm paying $1,500, I'm building a new goddamn computer. Yeah, so, But no, it is aggravating. It was a messy launch. And like, I don't understand like how we haven't figured this out. It's the same thing that happens when any big online game launches. At launch, there's always server issues. There's always bugs. And it's just, we've been doing this for decades now. Yeah. And we can't figure out how to do a successful product launch. I don't fucking get it. So I understand that, because
you really don't know how something works until you get it out to the masses. Like iPhone. True. There's been so many iterations. They still have bugs every time they release. So when a console releases and you have bugs, I understand that because it's out to the Well, I want to sit here and say it's out to the masses, but it's not. And that's one thing that makes me so upset is, we talked about every single launch window. We have seen shortages, but this one seems to be really, really bad. I'm not hearing of hardly anybody that's getting a system. Like, you see a victory here and a victory there, but it's not a lot of them. And people on Twitter who are saying, about these scalpers. Oh, they just understand supply and demand. Shut the fuck up. Okay,
don't
first
support
of all,
these people.
Like, anybody who makes real money is not flipping video game systems. We're actually out there making real fucking money, okay? We got 401k plans. We got health insurance plans. We're not fucking flipping video game systems to make a couple $100. That's a terrible business model anyways, because
it is.
Like, the consoles only come out once every 7 years. So what, you're making a little, penis tickler here and there, because I'm using words like that because I'm pissed off. But, and then also, how many scalpers live in a fucking mansion? So to sit there and say these guys are smart business people and that they understand all this crap, just shut up, man. Like, I heard this crap happens with shoes too, which is sad, but
it is. Video games are not the only industry, that's for sure.
Yeah, but
it's
just a stain for gaming, because PlayStation and Sony and Microsoft say that they care about the gamer. Right. But what is happening right now is not demonstrating that. Like, there's a way that we could fix this, and I kind of want to bring up a couple points.
So that's a good point. Like,
one's like a
how
lottery.
do we fix
like,
it going forward?
Yeah, you just enter. Like, okay, let's talk about that. How do we fix this going forward? One of the ideas I had was something like a lottery system, where you just apply and you win one. Like, in that way, the real gamer, or they might not all be gamers, but the majority are probably going to be real gamers who aren't going to go out and sell a system for a high price, and they're just going to enjoy it. And you kind of talked about it.
That's the way they do like the World. That's the way they do like the World Cup tickets, if I'm not mistaken. For the World Cup is there's a lottery that you have to get into for some of the big matches. So it works. Yeah,
and just like more story. We understand the whole pandemic and all that. Like I said. I disagree with it because yes, we want people to be safe, but you're already letting thousands of people into the store. Like, you can have a couple people 6 feet apart in a line. Just tell them, hey, we have 5 systems. First 5 people get one. You can,
and then everyone else get the fuck out.
Yeah, you can figure that out, but just, quit giving so mean to influencers. I don't know exactly how this worked this time, but I know that they're also giving a lot and giving them out to their fans, and just for the regular gamer, you are not giving us a chance. There's a difference between having a shortage and not even having a chance. And it's been so ridiculous that, you've not seen them anywhere. Like, how? Yeah. Like, if you don't have this many systems to where gamers can't get one at all, don't fucking launch the consoles. Just push it back. You push all your damn games back. Why can you not push the console launch back? I understand the holidays, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. When a console comes out, every next gen, it will sell no matter what time of the year it is.
It will.
Just Red, do you have any more points like going forward, or overall thoughts on the whole thing?
And there's a really good point that you kind of mentioned in our outline that I didn't even really think about, and that's like the streaming. We're seeing xCloud out in the wild now. Stadia, whatever. Amazon that it's trying to do, Nvidia. They're all like, if we can get the infrastructure in place to where streaming is a legitimate, viable way to get great 4K, 120 megahertz, 120 refresh rate, whatever term you want to use, then that will eliminate the need for this. Like, you can do it on your laptop, you can do it on your phone, you can do a smart TV that can do it. It's just, we're obviously not there yet this generation. I don't think we'll be there next generation, because there's still huge chunks of our country alone here in America, like I said, that don't have that kind of broadband internet. And then you get overseas, and I feel like a lot of places it's even worse. Or there's more restrictive data caps on how much data you can use. So I feel like the streaming could be the way forward, where every smart TV, every cell phone, every tablet, laptop, whatever, has the capability to play beautiful, full-scale AAA games at 4K, at 120 frames per second. But man, our infrastructure just isn't there yet. But I am hoping that it does get there at one point, because I think as much as I love owning the console and I love the feeling, we've talked about this, that feeling of getting a new toy, getting that new console, it is an amazing feeling. But man, if we can avoid this shit show and we're not sitting here clicking fucking refresh on our computer, hoping that we're able to get that add to cart button to pop up, or in your case, you got it to pop up and it still didn't fucking work. Just so it can get stolen out of your fucking car in the end. Yeah, every single time like that Walmart has had one, I have gone 1 or 2 systems into my cart and I can never get through the process. And I just can't understand how you can. I know that I guess technically the product is not yours until you check out, but the fact that people can go into your cart and steal stuff, I don't know. It just infuriates me. I don't think that's fair. And like I said, I'm not one of those gamers that sit there clicking it all day, but there are those gamers, and usually I would kind of dog on them, but I understand that it means that much to them, and that's why they're doing it, and I feel sorry for them, but I don't know, man. It's really upsetting.
I think it's a stain on gaming. I think they just botched this whole thing. I think there's better ways that they could have done it. And it's sad in a year that's been as bad as 2020.
Right.
That,
right.
And gaming has been comforting the whole time. Well, not the whole time, but it has been a comfort that so many gamers are going through this crap. And a lot of people don't have money because, they've lost their jobs or, laid off for a little while or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know, but anyways, through all this, let's move on. I'm pissed off about it. I'm going to stay pissed off until I get system.
Let's be honest. This is our big topic of right now. I mean, the launches. It's been some people got it. So we just deserve to spend 15 minutes.
We do got to do one thing. We got to give props to GameStop. Because they did open up their doors and let people in line. Now, right. I know that we bashed them before about letting people into their stores, but we've explained our reasoning for this. So props to GameStop. From what I heard, they only let a couple people in line. They spaced them out. So GameStop, you're not going to get me props from us, but you got one right here. But anyways, through all this bullshit, all this chaos, we've talked about it. Somehow, Red managed to get an Xbox Series X on release day and then also was able to pick it up from Walmart on release day. I'm salty as shit. I'm jealous. I'm bitter. I'm not going to sit here and lie about it, but Red, go ahead. I know you want to talk about it. What are your opinions so far of the Xbox Series X?
That's the funny thing. We spend the first 15 minutes sitting here bashing on the process. It worked for me. I got one. I'm pretty fucking excited.
But here's the thing. I want to say something real quick. At first I was like, okay, it makes sense that you got one. He just, refreshed and got one. But as I went through the process, more and more, I'm like, I don't understand how you pulled this off.
Oh, dude, I don't either. I just made sure I had a Walmart account made. And I made sure I was sitting there on the products page, and about 11:58 Eastern, I started pounding that refresh button until it popped up and said add to cart. And I was already logged in. All I had to do was punch in my credit card, and it was done. So
my credit card was already in, and I still couldn't pull it off.
Jesus, that's So I will say, though, getting away from the pain in the ass that this whole launch has been, I fucking love my Series X. I've been an Xbox guy for the most part since going back to the original Xbox. I did love my PS4 and the exclusives on it, but I still my loyalty kind of still gravitates just a little towards the Xbox, mostly because of fond memories of playing Halo with a lot of good buddies back in high school and college. And then, of course, you and me playing after college when we got into the real world. But, so I was fucking thrilled to get it. My first thought when I picked the box up, it is smaller than I expected. All these, everything since they first released the pictures and kind of the dimensions, you're like, oh my God, these things are fucking huge. They're huge.
You're expecting a refrigerator out of it.
I was expecting a refrigerator. I was expecting a mini fridge that I could put beer in and everything else. But no, this thing is actually not very big at all. It looks great in my entertainment system because I've got it sitting next to it, standing up because I kind of like the vertical on it. And it's just, it's black. It fits in with everything else in the entertainment system. So just from an aesthetic standpoint, it's better than I expected. And if I wanted to actually put it in my entertainment system, I could lay it on its side and put it in there because being the amazing boyfriend I am, I gave my Xbox One to the girlfriend. So you're welcome, honey.
Okay. Yeah, I gave her the old system. I see what you're doing there. This is still awesome. A lot of people still play this, which is technically true, I guess, right now.
but getting beyond, a lot of people haven't been able to get to the next gen. But I mean, getting beyond that, I have not had a chance to play hardly anything that's actually optimized for the Xbox Series X. Because the few that were, the big ones were, of course, Gears of War 5, the latest Forza. Those were the ones they were pimping as these are the ones that at launch will be ready for the Series X, totally optimized for the graphics, the frames, all that. And unfortunately, I've never played Gears 4. So I didn't want to jump into Gears of War 5. So I started playing Gears of War 4. Then someone on our Discord kindly reminded us that the Halo Master Chief Collection got a patch for Series X upgrades to the, the 4K to the, the 120 frames per second if you have a TV that'll support it. And I was like, well, fuck, I got to go play Halo. I mean, at the end of the day, Halo is it is synonymous with Xbox, and it's been one of my favorite franchises for 20 years. So I'm like, I got to go back and play the original Halo. And so I went through and played it, and it's butter smooth. Man, the game loads up. The games load up in no time. When they talk about the solid state drives, and I'm sure it's the same way on the PlayStation side with its hard drive. Games load up in no time now, especially some of these older games that are a little less demanding than one built from the ground up. But literally, 30 seconds, you're booted up and you're in a game. It is awesome. It's a quality of life improvements, because the graphics, yeah, they look great. It runs butter smooth. It is beautiful. But I'm like, it's just being able to fire up and get in there. The loading time is non-existent between levels. It's loaded before you're done reading the little tip at the bottom of the screen. I mean, it's just...
Well, I like those tips, though, man. Those help me out.
Hey, those got me through a lot of Ghost of Tsushima. So.
Yep. But well, I got to ask you a question. Like, you kind of got to get a new TV, though, now, don't you? Because your TV is not up to next-gen specs. You don't have HDR, which I'm guessing means you probably don't have 120 frames per second. So
I don't.
I think it's time to get on a new TV there, man.
I think I do. I really think I do. Hey, Black Friday's right around the corner.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, and I can move this into my bedroom. Life is good. So, but no, so I love it so far, and I haven't done a lot of like the quick resume is a big feature. They were also talking up but you've heard us talk. I don't like playing more than one or two different games at the same time. So I haven't really used the quick resume too much. A lot of reviewers were loving it, so I'm looking forward to checking that out at some point. But I have loved the experience so far. The controller, if you were a fan of the Xbox One controller or the Xbox 360 controller before that, you'll love the controller for the Series X. It's almost identical. It's got a little more texture on the grips, and the D-pad is a little bit better. The only thing I will say is the thumbsticks feel just a little bit closer together. And looking at it, you wouldn't know it, but when you actually hold it and you play it for a few minutes, they do feel a little closer together. But I've got small hands anyway, so it doesn't bother me at all.
Is the home button better? Because the home button on the Xbox One controller is terrible.
Oh, no, it's good. It's good. It's much more responsive. It's a little clickier. I'm a fan. It's more of a button.
You had to press that bitch down to get it to do anything on the Xbox One.
And I haven't got to play around with the new share button very much because, like I said, I went back and played Halo. So, I mean, it's not like I'm going to take beautiful screenshots from... I mean, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong. But it's still a game from 20 years ago.
I think that's his thing. Like, am I disappointed? Yes, that I didn't get one. Yes, I am disappointed that I didn't get one. But I'm more pissed off about the other things around just the whole console launch. And the reason
the
reason I'm really not that upset because there's honestly not a lot to play. Like I kind of talked about, I wanted a PlayStation 5 first. Now I'm in a position where I'll just take either one or both. If it happens, I'll figure out the money later on. So now I'm just whatever I can get my hands on. Yeah, but like that's the only reason that I'm disappointed. I'm pissed off about what's going on around it.
Right.
But I'm not that upset because like I said, there's not a lot to play. I just feel like I played like Spider-Man like a year or two ago, but it feels too soon. So I probably would get Miles Morales, but I don't think I'm ready to jump into Spider-Man just yet. To be honest with you, if I got the PS5, I would probably get Sackboy and play that first, or I would look for a game that utilized the system the best. Like I'm willing to pay money for a game that I might not really like just to see the next gen specs put to use. So I might do something like that. Xbox, if I get it, I don't know. But
just to kind of wrap up, I'm loving the Series X so far. Like I said, I haven't really played the games that are really supposed to take advantage of the bells and whistles, of the power. But I mean, like I said, the quality of life stuff is amazing. The quick load times, just you're in a game in no time. Controller feels amazing. It does look a butter smooth so far from everything I've played. So I'm loving it. I'm glad I've got it. Despite all our kind of negativity coming into this podcast, it is an exciting time in video games. You got new consoles, we've got big launches coming up. But one of my favorite things about this time of the year is we're starting to get to those Game of the Year, year-end awards. And the big one, it seems like every year, of course, is the Game Awards. And we recently got our nominees for all the categories, but most importantly, the Game of the Year. So how about, I've been talking about the Xbox for a while here. So how about you jump in on the nominees? What ones jumped out? Any surprises? Anything like that?
There was really nothing too surprising, I don't think. I guess one that was a little surprising was Doom, I think. Like, I didn't really hear anything bad about Doom, but I also wasn't hearing, great things about it. So that one kind of shocked me, maybe just a little bit. The Final Fantasy VII Remake, that one right there, I heard really great things about it. But I feel like a remake should be excluded from this category because you're not really, it's not original. It's not an original concept. You're just taking something that's already been done. But, I guess remake movies make Oscars and whatever. So, but I don't agree with it. I do not agree with it. Remakes should not be allowed in Game of the Year, no matter how good they are. I am standing by that forever from now on because you did not come up with an original concept. You just used what was already out there. But
I have other issues with Final Fantasy VII that I'll talk about, but I'm going to let you keep going for a few more minutes.
Animal Crossing expected it to be there. The Last of Us Part 2 of course, but they base it on reviews, which they don't. But if they base it on reviews, it would lose. Hades. Here's my issue. We kind of talked about this. I love the indie game scene. I don't play a lot of indie games, but it feels like for these Game of the Year awards, from not just the Game Awards, from also other entities, it feels like they always have to have that required indie game.
Yeah.
And I just
it's like
don't
obligatory
like that.
almost. Yeah.
Like if it's a great, like Celeste. I played Celeste. It was okay. It was not that great. And when you're comparing to games like The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, I just don't think, no matter how well those games are made, I just don't think they can compare to those games that are larger in scale and you can just do more. And like I said, that's
your
not
AAA
saying
games,
that they're bad games. They're just not up to the scope of these large games. So it wouldn't make me mad if you saw it here and there, but you see it almost everywhere. I just don't like that. Like, okay, I understand you want to give the indie people like a little recognition, but these games are not as good as some of the other games coming out. Like, you might enjoy it just as much, which I mean, I guess does mean a lot, but when we're talking like specs and how it's built and like
it's a polish
the gameplay
thing. It's a polish
and
production values type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then Ghost of Tsushima was the other one. I hope Ghost wins. The Last of Us Part 2, even though I really did enjoy the game, I hope it doesn't win because there was so much controversy. There's a lot of controversy everywhere, with a gay character and everything, which we didn't agree with or whatever. And
of course.
What was the other controversial? Oh, how Abby had muscles. Those two were stupid.
It was the stupidest bullshit ever.
Yeah, but then there was also a lot of controversy around, the critics gave it a high score than all the review bombing, which that should have been stopped before it even happened. So Metacritic, I believe, is where it happened. That was shame on you. But they fixed it from what I've heard. But
they're trying.
Yeah, but just The Last of Us 2, to me, the game, it missed in too many critical areas. Yeah, and we've had a whole episode on this. Don't remember which one it is. Go check that one out. But
not too long ago, just a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, but it was a great game, but it just didn't have everything I wanted to. Whereas Ghost of Tsushima, we both played that recently. A blast, an open world game, the combat, and I'm not usually a huge combat guy. The combat was amazing in it. The game looked spectacular.
Hey, we'll have a whole episode on Ghost of Tsushima before too long.
Very soon, I would imagine. There was a little bit of glitches here and there, but overall, it could be a little more polished. But I would say overall, in the whole scope of things, that would be my winner. Now, like I said, I've only played 2 of them, but Red, what are your opinions on the whole nominees? How many have you played, and who do you hope wins?
Well, first of all, you've played 3. You played Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Well, yeah, for like 2 days. I tried it. I don't know if you would say I played it.
So that's not your winner, is what you're saying.
No, it's not. Which I understand Animal Crossing and why people like it. It's just not the type of game that I like, but I understand why people do like it.
So, well, I will say, though, what kind of shocked me is that none of the next-gen games made it on here. And I know there's not many, but Demon Souls is getting rave reviews. I mean, a few people on our Discord have absolutely raved about it. The reviews, every review I've seen has been positive. And yes, it's got to be kind of one of those, if you like that genre of games. The From Software, extreme difficulty, I get that. But they had a game, was it Sekiro? I forgot the name of it. That won 2 years ago.
Shadows Die Twice or something.
That was from the same company. So obviously they're not bashing people for liking the difficulty. So that was my only surprise, is that I really thought the Demon Souls remake would get in there, probably over Doom Eternal.
It's not been out long enough. Like I know that one year Red Dead Redemption 2 had only been out not very long, but I think Demon Souls was even later than that one. I don't know, but I feel like it was.
Right, I think it was too. And then looking at this, like everything else, Animal Crossing New Horizons, I never played it. It's not my genre, but I understand its appeal at a time when people were getting quarantined. People were getting told to stay home. It's a happy game. It's a leisurely game. It's a time filler. And I feel like that's what people needed. What was that? That March, April time frame when it came out was right when the coronavirus was going apeshit all around the world. So
it's worse now. So
it's even worse now. Yeah, you aren't wrong. So I get that one being nominated because it got a lot of great publicity when it came out. Doom Eternal did go a little under the radar. I played the 2016 Doom. I haven't beat it, but I put in probably a good 15 or so hours. Great game. So if Doom Eternal is just more of that, I'm on board with that. But that one snuck up on me a little bit because it did fly under the radar a little because it released on the exact same day as Animal Crossing, and I feel like Animal Crossing dominated those headlines. So that one surprised me a little bit. The Last of Us Part 2, everyone predicted that one. I mean, the critical reviews are amazing. It is a very, very, very good game, as we talked about a couple episodes ago.
But not great.
Not great. Not great, in my opinion. Not quite up to the same bar as the first one. But I get it getting nominated. Ghost of Tsushima and we've talked about this, and we will talk about it in length in its own episode. It's just such a well done open world game from a company or a developer that doesn't do open world games. So for me, like, and plus the Japanese setting was very different for me because I didn't play like the Sekiro or the Nioh is another popular franchise that's set over in Japan. And I haven't played those. So for me, it was a fresh setting, a beautiful open world. The combat was fun. The story was rock solid. You know, I'm glad to see that one get nominated. I was a little surprised because the critical reviews were all kind of like around that 80 out of 100 type range. Because it doesn't necessarily innovate a lot. It just does everything really, really well.
But what are you going to innovate in an open world game, though?
It's hard. It's hard now. Like
You've already had The Witcher 3. Like, The Witcher 3 killed it for everybody.
Right.
Like, there was no more innovation after that. Like, what are you going to do? Put planes or something in, like, a samurai setting? I don't know.
Hades did not surprise me because every year, you're right, they do have that indie game. Last year, it was Disco Elysium, which I have and still haven't played. But like Hades was an easy one to predict. It got a lot of good publicity. The developers behind that are the same ones that did Resistor, they did Bastion. They've all been popular indie games. So that company has some good credibility. And like you said, they always get an indie game in there. So Hades made sense to me. I'm on the fence. I like seeing them get the recognition. But the indie games also have their own entire category. Like there is a category for best independent game. So kind of shoehorning one into the best game of the year, like we said, against these very polished, very well produced, and I'm not saying anything bad about Hades. I haven't played it. And like I said, I've enjoyed this developer's previous games, but it's on a different playing field than The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Doom, Animal Crossing, you know, all these other games. Final Fantasy. Okay. I've heard good things and people have raved about it. I get it. They took a 5-fucking-hour intro to a game and turned it into a full 40-hour release.
I forgot to mention that part of it, actually.
It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. It's like, let's say, you know, we talked a little bit about Halo earlier. It's like you take the first fucking level in Halo, like when you're stuck on the Pillar of Autumn. I just played it, so this is fresh in my mind. You're trying to get off the ship, and they make that a 40-fucking-hour game.
Yep.
You know how bored I'm going to be wandering around that ship?
Walmart must have been behind that idea, man.
It's just, and people have raved about it. People have raved about the graphics, raved about the changes, the new missions, all that shit. At the end of the day, it is a shameless fucking cash grab from Square Enix. Are they going to take 5-hour chunks of the original game and make every single fucking one 40 hours long and sell it as its own thing? You're sheep.
You just got voted for Game of the Year. Why would you not do that again?
Right. And I know you mentioned like it's a remake. Maybe it doesn't deserve it. And I think Resident Evil 2 last year kind of paved that way. Was that last year or 2 years ago? I can't remember anymore.
Yeah, I don't either.
Kind of paved the way for remakes to actually show up on these lists. And to me, whatever. I don't care if it's a remake, if it's that good, whatever. But this ain't a remake. This is carving off one tiny little piece of the original game and selling it for $60 to these fans who will happily pay for it because they love the original Final Fantasy VII. No offense to the fans who did. I hope you loved it. It just reeks to me of just fucking bullshit greed. And I don't like seeing it get rewarded by a nomination for Game of the Year. So fuck Final Fantasy VII Remake. It'll probably goddamn win anyway, just because people think Final Fantasy VII is the best thing that has ever happened in the history of gaming. So, now all that being said, I hope Ghost of Tsushima wins as well. That's the one I had the most fun with on this list. Again, without having played every nominee, but that is of just being familiar with Animal Crossing, being familiar with Doom. You know, Hades, I would like to check out at some point. You know, Final Fantasy, whatever, fuck itself. But So Ghost gets my nomination for my favorite game this year. I do have to say, in our Two Guys Playing Zelda awards last year, I actually nominated Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And I realized, because that was a late release. That was like a December release. So that actually popped up in some of the different categories for the Game Awards this year. And I'm not saying it may not be on this. It's not quite on the same par as The Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima. Jedi Fallen Order was one of my absolute favorite games last year. I'm glad to see it get nominated in a couple other categories, like Best Action Adventure Game. It's probably not going to win because it's up against Ghost and The Last of Us and all that stuff. But, I was happy to see that because in our Two Guys Playing Zelda awards, that was my pick. So, oh man, I kind of went off there.
You went on there for a little while. I'm not gonna lie.
So, I don't even know where we're going after this.
We're actually going. Looking at the time, we do have to skip some points, people. So
we do.
We're not going to talk about the final bosses. We're not going to talk about the traveling and open world games.
We'll get to them in another episode.
Yeah, we will try to put those in another episode. We want to get to Age of Calamity because this game just released recently, and so we wanted to talk about it because a lot of you know that we started as Two Guys Playing Zelda. That's what the TGPC and TGPC Gaming. I don't know why I got to stretch that out so much. That's what the TGPC stands for. Is Two Guys Playing Zelda, which is who this podcast is by. But we did that for like 5 or 6 years, and we'll kind of give an update. We'll talk about Age of Calamity, and then we'll give a Two Guys Playing Zelda update. But Red, I don't think you've bought it. I know I haven't bought it yet, but we've kind of talked about that game a little bit, but now that's here, just released recently, are you planning on buying it? Well, you're probably not planning on buying it soon now because of the Xbox Series X, but just kind of, when are you going to buy it? Like, how excited are you for the game?
I feel like I should be more excited. I played...
And hurry up, Dan, because I just got the transition right there.
Right? Well, I feel like I should be more excited because I liked the original Hyrule Warriors. I had a lot of fun with it. I liked the main quest anyway. I didn't necessarily care for the adventure mode because it forced you into all these different scenarios. Some of them were more fun than others. I didn't complete it. I got stuck playing as Fee and I said, fuck this, I'm done. But no, so I enjoyed the main story of Hyrule Warriors and the gameplay. That it's kind of hack and slash, you versus literally thousands of enemies with some big epic boss fights. I enjoyed the original Hyrule Warriors. I'm not that excited about Age of Calamity though, and it's shocking because I've talked before, we've both talked, we would have loved to have seen Hyrule before the Calamity, right? From Breath of the Wild. Yep. And now this game is giving it to us, and both of us are just kind of it's there.
Is it because of when it's releasing right beside next gen?
I think that's part of it. That is definitely part of it. We were all very focused, and our podcast obviously has been very focused, as it should be for a gaming podcast, on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and the games that come along, or lack of games in some cases, that were coming along with that. But, it's on my radar, and I do plan on getting it at some point, but it's not something I'm in a rush for.
Here's the thing, I didn't get the next-gen console, and I'm still not that excited for it. And we'll kind of talk about this when we get into the Two Guys Playing Zelda update.
Yeah.
But I think because of our brand, I got a little burnt out on Zelda.
Well,
and there's also this other thing. Do we actually even know if it's canon or not yet? I've not heard any official word on this.
I think it would be just because of the time frame, and they're saying that this was the story of the Calamity. So I think it will be, unlike whatever that spinoff was for the other one, which it was a fun game. Fun
we've
story,
talked about, you had to make this canon, or it just seems like a pointless game. But first of all, I'm not really I love going forward and attacking, although I have said that I've gotten a lot better at stealth and strategy, so I'm very happy myself, but I don't like these type of games where you go forward and attack against thousands of enemies. I like against 1, 2, or 3 enemies, so this game really doesn't fit my style too much because in a game, when I talk about going forward and just attacking, there's more aspects to the game. Yeah. This game is basically, like you said, hack and slash. That is all you are doing in the game. So I'm really just not a big fan of that. Yeah, it'd be cool to hear the story of Hyrule before the game Breath of the Wild, but I want to hear that story in a regular, a true Zelda game. I don't want to hear about it in a spinoff, even if that spinoff is canon. So for me, I'm kind of just it's a hack and a slash. Yeah, you're going to get a little bit of a story. I'm sort of excited about it. Maybe I got some Upland Weed Ale coming tonight. I'm not getting the next gen console, so maybe I have a little too much beer tonight.
You're going to get drunk and buy Age of Calamity tonight, aren't you?
So, I got paid today. I can't get the next gen console. You know what, Red? We are getting that game tonight. We just got to get a couple of Upland in us, Upland Wheat Ales, and
there you go.
I didn't even think about that till right now, but I'm going to buy it tonight.
It's going to happen tonight now.
Yeah, but I got to be honest, I'm really not that excited for it, but I think to me, we're going to transition. Why the hell do I always say transition when I'm about ready to go through a transition?
Because it's right there on the outline. Yeah, here's our transition.
No, but I'm going to use it to transition into two guys playing Zelda, and what's kind of going on with that brand that started all for us. And like I said, one reason why I think I'm not that excited is because we did two guys playing Zelda for so long, where for me, developing the website, doing a lot of the videos. You did a lot of the videos too, doing a lot of the recording. You also did a lot of the recording. But for 5 or 6 years, I did Zelda every single day. And I got burned out on it. And I do come back to it and I play it. I do enjoy it, but I'm just kind of still on that break and stuff. And people that are two guys playing Zelda fans that have kind of came over to this, you're probably not going to like what we had to say, but kind of going forward, Red and I have talked about this.
Oh, yeah.
We feel like TGPC gaming is kind of the way because you got to do what you're passionate about. And Red and I, while we do love Zelda, we are passionate about so many other games on so many other systems. And gaming, as we gotten older, when we started out, it was all about, it wasn't all about followers and subscribers, but it meant a lot.
It was important.
Whereas nowadays, when we don't have as much time in our lives, and you all will experience this, you kind of got to go more towards what you're passionate about and what you enjoy because it's an escape. That's what this is for us.
It is.
It's an escape now. And we kind of talked about the podcast is so much easier to produce than videos
and
on
fun.
YouTube.
And the podcast is just fun.
Yeah, go ahead, man. I've been talking for a while.
Oh, no, it's all good. I was going to say, in the podcast, it's just fun to sit here and talk about whatever the news of the week is. Or if there's not that much news, it's fun to talk about the various gameplay elements that we enjoy or don't like. Or it's fun to bash on GameStop and Google Stadia.
Yep.
That never gets old. I can do that all fucking day. I'm not ever getting burnt out on that. But you're absolutely right. The podcast, it's easier to do. We get to talk about all of gaming, not just Zelda. We're not sitting here recording video. We're not editing video. It's just, we're not writing scripts. We do an outline, as you guys have heard us mention many times. But, I understand how YouTubers and Twitch streamers and other I know Twitch isn't the only one, but that's obviously the one that pops in my head. I get how people burn out on this, the content creators, because you're absolutely right. It is hard, especially. It's not a job for us. It was something that was a passion.
Yeah.
And we both have full-time regular jobs. It's hard to come home from your 9 to 5, especially you got the kids and everything.
Yeah.
For me, it's, I'm a little more free time. I got the girlfriend and her kid and everything, but it's not the same. But it's hard to then sit down and be like, oh, I got to work on this video or it's not going to get done. Or, oh, I got to record this and I got to prep to record for our walkthroughs because we're trying to do 100%. We're not trying to have shitty walkthroughs. So I'm 100% with you. I think the podcast is kind of going to be one of our big focuses, but I know you're also still doing a lot of stuff with the TGPZ gaming website. So how about you talk a little bit about that?
Well, like we kind of talked about, it is an affiliate shop, and what that means is basically we sell other people's products and we make a commission off of that. But the reason that I'm so committed to it is, one, I think I can make a very cool shop where I can include game products from this person, and present them all in the one place. But here's where I'm going to get a little boring with it. I have a competitive advantage over this because a lot of the work is actually taking products from Excel and, manipulating the data, cleaning up the data.
Right.
And then I'll put 300 or 400 products into the website at one time. And I had those skills in Excel because I use it every single day. And so this is something that I saw a competitive advantage with where hey, I can create this, awesome shop. Yes, we do earn a little bit of money from it. It helps us out. But
to cover the expenses is really all we're going for.
I just want to make it a really cool place for gamers to come. And that's why we also have, a blog on it. And we put our podcast on a certain page on there. And we might also get more content. We do have a YouTube channel where we do put these podcasts for TGPC Gaming. Who knows? Maybe one day down the road, we'll start doing more videos on there. But the whole website I have an advantage where I can drop a lot of products onto the shop.
Right.
And I think it's very cool, the gamers to see all that in one place. You don't have to go here. You don't have to go there to see certain things. You can see the hats from 5 or 6 merchants all in one place and then combine it with an awesome blog. And this is the kicker on it where we can talk about anything in the video gaming industry that we want.
Right.
And that is awesome. And so as Red and I've gotten older, as I've gotten kids, as he's gotten, busier with work and stuff, we only have so much time that we can do things.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we
absolutely.
gotta choose what we want to commit our time to. And going forward, I just think the podcast is easier to make. We can drop content more consistently. We are more passionate about talking other things in Zelda. And with TGPC Gaming, we can still talk Zelda too.
Absolutely. Because it doesn't mean we don't love Zelda. It does not mean we don't love Zelda. It's still there in our lives. It's a huge part of our lives.
So just going forward, that's the best situation for us. It's where our passion is at. So we will keep the Two Guys Playing Zelda YouTube channel going. We will drop videos
every now and then.
We'll drop videos when we drop videos.
It's been a hot minute.
And I know that upsets our Zelda fans, but we are going to be talking Zelda here and there on TGPC Gaming. But
hey, you're buying Age of Calamity tonight, so you'll be ready to talk about it next episode.
So we just had to go where the passion was at. I think naturally we were always progressing to a place where we could talk about more video games, not just Zelda. And we finally just got to a point where we're like, hey, if we're going to do this, let's do this. So ending, we'll keep the Two Guys Playing Zelda YouTube channel going. We will talk Zelda, but it will be on TGPC Gaming. But going forward, it's going to be mostly TGPC Gaming and the podcast because we only have so much time, and that's where we want to put our time at.
Fucking
but anyways,
real life, man.
Red, I got to take a little break. Let's go ahead. You just start the wrap up for us.
Well,
do you have anything else you want to say?
Well, before the wrap up, I was just going to say, I mean, this whole process, and we've been, like you said, we got this on the ground 5 or 6 years ago, whatever it's been. It does make me appreciate people who fucking put out content 2 times a week, 3 times a week. People who stream 6, 8, 10 hours a day. Like, good for you people. Like, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. So props to people who do. I hope you all get followers. I hope you all can make a successful, whole successful gig out of it. So that's all I will say, because I have a hard time putting together a video in 6 months, much less 6 days. So anyway, wrapping up, all the links for the stuff we'll talk about will be down in our, I almost said description below. But, if you want to, you can support us on Patreon or PayPal. Patreon's kind of the recurring thing. PayPal's a one-time thing. If you can't, we totally understand that. Leave us a review. Leave us a rating. We always appreciate those 5-star ratings, even if it's not really 5 stars. Go ahead and lie. It makes us feel good about ourselves.
Lying ain't gonna hurt you.
And then we also have the 2 websites, as we kind of just mentioned, TGPZ Gaming, 2guysplayingzelda.com. They are affiliate websites with lots of gaming merchandise. So how about you talk a little bit about our YouTube and social media?
Yeah, and we also got a new logo for TGPC
we do
Gaming,
have a new
so
logo.
I hope you all like that.
I need to change my Twitter logo.
Yes you do. And we probably will get one for Busted Buns in the future. We'll see. But anyways, we have a YouTube channel for 2 Guys Playing Zelda and TGPC Gaming. At the moment, for TGPC Gaming, mostly just put our podcast on there. We have a Discord server where we talk all video gaming, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, PC. Definitely go check that out. And we are on social media, Twitter, Instagram mostly, at Busted Buns PC. But anyways, Red, just had an absolute blast, man. We've missed a week or 2 before.
Yeah, we have.
We've only missed a week. This time we missed 2 weeks, so
it was tough.
It was just, even though I'm upset about what's going on, it was just so nice to get back to talking gaming. But anyways, we will see you all on the next episode.